Alright, what's up, guys? So it's my turn to have my own movie. Thank you, Brandon, for giving me this slot. I really appreciate it. It's starting to get cooler out, which I always love. Cooler weather and all that stuff. Actually, let me put this down so I can zip up my shirt. But my name is Doc, if you don't know. I'll tell you guys my story before I go through everything else. And the reason why Brandon gave me this slide is because I'm going to be facing against Madness Man. I've been asking for a while. Give me this time to. So I had already fought him, but it wasn't on camera. So that's what he wants this time. That's what I'm going to do. So let's start from the beginning. In 1984, a 10-year-old boy came into the asylum, and basically his parents abandoned him. And they said that, oh, he's crazy, but actually he wasn't. And at first he talked to me. And I just called him the Madness Man because of the madness that was inside of him after his parents abandoned him. Only grew every single day that came by. Every single day that passed, he just got more and more enraged. So for 8 years, for the first half, we talked. The next 4 years, and ever since then, he hasn't talked. So from 1988 to now, 2035, he hasn't spoken a word at all. He did whisper to Mike and Nick, but it's too late because Mike is dead and Nick is supernatural now and working with Madness. I was a doctor. I finished medical school and all that stuff in 1979. So I had 5 years under my belt by the time Madness came in. We created this bond. He was the only person that talked to me. He's the only person that passed notes to me in terms of communication and all that stuff. And I could basically feel. I was just sad for the kid. I was very, very, very sad about what was happening to him and that his parents abandoned him and all that stuff. And I just felt bad for him. I mean, just imagine this. You're born and all that stuff, and you grow up, and then all of a sudden your parents just say, you know what, because it's a product of its time, you could just send people to the asylum for any reason at all. I mean, I've heard reports from different facilities where if the husband didn't like the wife, he would just send them to the asylum and they would just take her. Yeah. But, so you fast forward 8 years later, in 1992. So Madness had been there for 8 years. And he said to me, he didn't say it to me, but he passed me a note. He says, tomorrow I'm going to escape. I've been planning this for a while. You will either let me go, I don't kill as many people as I will, or you don't let me go and I kill 13, 20, 25 people. So obviously I let him go. And the next day he escaped. He killed 2 doctors, 6 nurses, and a patient. And then just before he left, he turned back, nodded to me, and then he left. So, fast forward after that, I still was a doctor for a few years till around 2000, and then I just stopped because I just couldn't get that out of my head. But I kept tabs on the neighborhood, because once that happened at the asylum, they tore the asylum down, changed it to a neighborhood, and I kept tabs on the neighborhood. Fast forward to 2017, and he starts killing every single year for the first time in 25 years. He disappeared after that for 25 years. Then he came back, and he's been back ever since. Well, fast forward to 2030, 13 years after that, I decided to meet with Nick, Mike, Brian, Chris, and all those people, Tom, and all those people that I've been keeping tabs on this neighborhood for 30 years now, and I have kept everything under wraps and all that stuff, and I wanted to start helping instead of just being like a shadow or something like that. So you fast forward a few more years to around 4 years later. Mike, so if you guys don't know, Mike is what we call the drug guy. He knows all these things called liquids. There's this thing called the blue liquid that turns people into supernatural. There's the purple liquid that poisons supernaturals, and they can lose one power. If it's a regular person, like a close friend of mine, he would die if that was injected in him. And then you have the invisible liquid, you have the urban legend liquid, you have the, if you turn black and blue together, it'll make you super natural, which is what number 8 is. Number 8 is the most powerful person in the city, unfortunately. So I took that and I was like, okay. Mike came up to me and he said, I have an idea. It's up to you. I think this is a good idea. He said, Toby is the only person that's supernatural, right? That's not a killer or anything like that. And I said, yeah. And he said, would you like to be number 2? And I was like, what are you talking about? So he basically told me everything. He told me everything about the side effects, what will happen, how long will it take before I die. It took me around 7 minutes, and then obviously I passed out, and obviously I died. But unfortunately, it took a lot longer for me to come back. Because of that, there was a bit more side effects, but I am supernatural now. But a few of the side effects are, sometimes I will just get mad all of a sudden. And anything or anybody around me will pass out because I'll beat them up and all that stuff. But I've gotten to the point, training, and Mike has trained me. And now that Shadow's killer is here, and he was a creator of all the liquids, he's the person that killed Shadow. Shadow was the first person to ever become supernatural in the city, all the way back in 1975, so 60 years ago. And with them, they trained me how to deal with these side effects, use my powers for good, not bad. I mean, Shadow's killer is a dick. He called himself Dr. Shadow, but so the first time that I fought Madness, what is I'm trying to think, was, I think it was 6 months ago that I last fought him. And I don't really count that because that's when I basically became supernatural for the first time. 6 to 8 months ago was when I first became supernatural. And I when I became supernatural, I didn't really know how to use my powers at all. And at that time, I was just so enraged that I beat Madness up. He ran, and that was like our first time we were facing against each other. I had stood toe to toe with the man and stuff like that, but we didn't come to blows. Sorry if I'm yawning too much. I have work at nights. I work during the nighttime. I have schooling during the nighttime because I'm going back to school for some other things to get my mind off of everything that's going on. And because of that, I usually wake up between 12 and 2 because I need a lot of sleep. By the time I go to bed, it's like between 5 and 7 a.m. And because I do everything at nighttime, work, school, and all that stuff, I wake up in between 12 and 2. And today it's more so around 10, 11. So I'm a little bit tired. But I'm ready to fight him. I told Brandon that this is going to be more of a chill type of thing until I see Madness with me face to face. And, that's the thing. I want to make sure that this is right. I want to make sure that I think of a plan with Mike and Dr. Shadow that will work not only for me, but will be the perfect plan that I don't have to fight Madness for long. One of the other side effects is that if I'm fighting too long and I'm using my supernatural powers, I will immediately be drained. I will feel drained and basically dehydrated and all that stuff, and sometimes it even passes me out. And I can't go longer than maybe 2 or 3 minutes for a fight. And especially if I'm using my supernatural powers through the entire time, which I obviously will have to. I mean, Madness turned supernatural 3 years ago. So he has way more experience being supernatural than I do. I mean, Madness has powers that I could only dream of. Anytime he kills somebody, he can actually revive them, make them supernatural, but they're working on their side. That's exactly what happened to Nick. Nick was killed, turned supernatural, and worked with their side. And I'm gonna make this 30 minutes, and at least my part, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what everyone else is gonna do, but I'm gonna try and get everybody's help and all that stuff. And while we're here, I might as well get them all here. Dr. Shadow, Mike, you guys come here. Yeah, I'm filming because I want to face against Madness. I want to know if I was thinking of a plan. I'll get your guys' opinion and all that stuff. But my idea for a plan is that you give me a little bit of the gray liquid. That will at least turn me invisible for at least, if you give me half a dose or just a very, very little bout, it'll give me around 20 to 30 minutes, which is more than enough for me to stop Madness and all that stuff. I was thinking about using that. And then actually, we have blood samples of his. If we put that blood sample with a little bit of the purple liquid, maybe we can pass him out and poison his blood and take away one of his powers. Hopefully it's the turning. Hopefully it's turning people from, being dead to supernatural. On his side, maybe we can take that away and all that stuff. Do you guys think that's a good idea? Alright. I've been good. I have been training. I have been trying to keep my mind from being enraged and all that stuff. It is a bit harder. That's what you guys told me, that it's going to take at least another 6 to 8 months for me to be fully aware of everything and control my anger, being a supernatural and all that stuff, controlling my anger and wanting to hit or punch anything in front of me, human or not. And what? Why do I want to face him now? Well, I just think it's time to change things up. Madness is faced against Shadow. He's faced against the man. All of them have worked together against number 8. But he's never faced me. He's never faced a non-killer before. So this is going to be interesting. Yeah. And I just think that it's time to make sure that he does it. But viewers, I'm going to let Dr. Shadow explain how he created all the liquids and how I'm supernatural and all that stuff, so I'm going to have him do that. So, Dr. Shadow, take it away. Alright, what's up everybody? I am Dr. Shadow. So, Doc told me to inform everybody about how I created all the liquids and all that stuff. Well, you have to go all the way back to 1974. I am supernatural. I am the very first person to be supernatural. So I was a scientist that worked at the highest level in the university in terms of our science studies and all that stuff. And one day I was messing with some things, and it turned into this like blue color, this blue type of a liquid. So I'm like, what the hell is this? So I tested it against I was like, huh, because we are also right next door to where dead bodies are looked at, decomposition and all that stuff. And I'm like, huh, let me put this in then. So I just did that, and he woke up. I got scared, so I killed him. And I was like, this is weird. But also cool. And I'm like, huh. So I decided I'm going to kill somebody. I first made myself supernatural to make sure that if the person is violent as well, I can easily take them down. And Shadow was the person that was the experiment. So I did that, and it worked. 5 minutes later, he woke up, and I did some more experiments and all that stuff, and trained him, and then I left. And until last week, I had not been seen since 1974. So 61 years ago. So, why am I here to talk about Madness? Well, Madness is a very interesting person. He is what we call supernatural. Mainly because of two things. He has a rare liquid, the blue and gray liquid, which is combined. So his blood is both, which means that he can turn invisible on command. So basically, if you have the gray liquid, it only lasts a limited amount of time. A full syringe can last you 2 to 3 hours. Half a dose can last you around 30, maybe 45 minutes. Now 2 full doses can last you a couple days. But because Madness died in the perfect spot, where there was a little bit of both between the fight against, him and number 8, or him and the man. Because of that, he has this rare thing that not even number 8 has, and that is he can do this all on command. And that's why, like Doc said, he needs that gray liquid. Now, if they're both invisible, that's going to be interesting, to say the least. And yeah, that's everything from me. So, Doc, you continue on. You're done? Alright. So I guess the next time you see Doc, he will be headed towards Madness and ready to fight him for the first time. All I say to you, Doc, is good luck. Because even though you're supernatural, you're going to need it. You're going to need that luck. Goodbye, viewers. you guys hear? Yeah, I heard it too. Viewers, if you don't know, Madness was seen, and it's been documented now that he just killed 27 people in just a matter of a few minutes. That's just because that's basically normal in Horrifying Nights, Indiana. I mean, he's supernatural, so he can do that without really breaking a sweat. I think I'm ready. I think he's waiting too. I'm a little bit nervous. I know I shouldn't be. I'm supernatural too. So I shouldn't be nervous about this, but I am. It should be a pretty good battle. Alright. Wish me luck. And here we go. You know I'm not gonna kill you. You know you can't kill me. We're gonna fight. Are you ready? You nodded? Okay. Here we go. Oh, shit. It's time for this. Green liquid. Invisible. I'm gonna use purple liquid. Wish me luck. Invisible. Now. Madness. Well, I just put in you as a purple liquid. So you're gonna be poisoned, you're gonna be passing out for at least a week. When you wake up, you'll be losing one power. Your guess is as good as mine on which one you lose. So that's it. That is it, viewers. I finally beat Madness. It was difficult.